So welcome. Today we're going to be doing the avionics tutorial for the VRS Superbug E. Avionics tutorial is pretty much just teaching how to target things with the HSI, with the HUD, with the radar, and with the FLIR, which is your laser target designator. And what we will do in those is I will teach you air to air and air to ground. Mostly air to ground though, because in this thing you're mostly going to be doing air to ground. Also some other cute little things and tweaks you need to know about. We will get a tad bit of countermeasures. I'm not going to teach you how to use them. I'm just going to show you where to turn them on and keep them on and what you're going to be looking at. We're going to go through the technical HSI and the technical page on the DDIs to explain all what those pages are, how to use them, and what the information in those are for. So without further ado, now this is how the videos are going to work here. If you saw the YouTube video I just uploaded, tutorial 1, I didn't really talk about this, but I talked about advanced avionic, advanced navigation, stuff like that, other next videos. We're going to have a playlist set up where it's going to be Learn to Fly the VRS Superbug. And we're going to have everything from I just got the airplane, I don't even know how to start it, all the way up to shooting weapons within a couple days. I'm trying to get this to the point of where you beginners, it's very easy to learn, very fast, and very effective. I'm not going to go into super advanced stuff, and that would be the part 2 of this series where you get into more advanced stuff if you want to learn it. That'll be carrier ops, advanced weapons, stuff like that. But for this lineup, we'll post the list on the FSX, just the FSX Facebook page of everything I'll be doing, and it'll also be on the YouTube in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. But without further ado, let's get started here. Now, I already talked about how to start the airplane up. Now, each video, I'm going to bullet this into your brain how to start this airplane up. So each video I'm going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk less about it, until you pretty much have it memorized and you don't need me to talk about it anymore. And at the end of this series, I might even start videos from the air, since we don't have to learn this again. So once again, we're going to do pre-flight checks. So we're just going to scan the left console for general good uses. Everything's in its correct position. The gain FCS switch is over, the reset FCS switch is off, the APU is off, the engine crank is off, all the external tanks are in the normal position. Our refueling probe is in the retract position. We can turn on the position light and the strobe light on. Our Gentai control is guarded in the normal position. External power is off. We have our test for fire and brake pressure. Those are in the normal positions. Hook bypass switches and carrier. Landing light is off. Anti-skid is on. Flaps are in the out of position or off position. The launch bar is retracted. The select jettison is safe. The parking brake is set. Coming up here, we're going to push the jettison buttons out. The canopy jettison handle is all the way forward. The air-to-air and air-to-ground modes are not selected, and the distinguish switch for the engines is pushed out. The both fire for left and right engines are guarded, and the button is in the out position. Master caution light is in the out position. There's nothing showing or no broken indications. Both DDIs are off. The HUD is off. The brightness for the UFC and the HSI is off. We have on the standby altitude indicator, we have the off position. We have our altimeter set to the correct altitude. We are reading 0 knots, and our climb is reading 0, and the RWR is off. Moving down here, our jammer is off, RWR is off, countermeasures, CMWS is off, dispenser is off, ECM jettison button is out, and the aux release switch is in the normal position. The wing fold position is in fold for our scenario. The AR cool switch in the off position. If you want that into the normal position, our spin switch is guarded. Hook is up. The wings in fold like I just said. The AV cool switches in the normal position. Left battery and right generator are all off. The battery indicators leading 0. The air conditioning pressurization control switches are the auto and normal positions. Temperature control is however you want it to be. The anti-ice is off. The bleeds are off. All blue lights are as desired, so when we start the airplane up, all lights automatically kept on. Refueling panel is off. The FLIR is off. The laser track designator is off. The LC is off, and the IST is in the nav mode, and the radar is off. So that's your generic, quick, super quick thing. So we're going to start the airplane immediately. Battery on. Fire test to A.
Engine fire.
Listen to it, make sure
Engine fire.
Works properly.
Engine fire. Right. Engine fire. Right. APU fire. APU fire.
Cycle the master caution switch and make sure it's working.
Left. Lead air. Right. Lead air. Right.
Alright, so now we're going to go fire test 2.
Engine fire. Left. Engine fire. Left. Engine fire. Right. Engine fire. Right. APU fire. APU fire. Lead air. Left. Lead air. Left. Lead air. Right. Lead air. Right.
Alright, switch to normal position, cycle the battery switch. Alrighty, now we can start the APU, so we select the APU start switch to on. Here we get the sound of it starting, and you will get some more indications. Shift F to give us a full tank of gas. And we will go ahead and close the lighter. That. Shut the canopy. So we're going to be doing APU start, so the APU bleeds are pulled, right, we're going to start the right engine again, right, generator's on, engine crank to right. 15% RPM, our right throttle goes into the auto position. Sure park and brake step before you do all this though. There we go. A little overshot up, no big deal though. There we go, we have a good successful start. We're checking out parameters to make sure they're in the correct parameters, which means the RPM is at 61 once it stabilizes. The temperature is within 250 and 500 degrees Celsius. The fuel flow is within 600 and 900. And the nozzle is within, it's 90 for stable. So we're going to switch our DDIs to the auto position and turn on or use FC and our HSI. The HUD can stay off for now for taxi. So we have a LiDAR indication. I guess the LiDAR went back down. Hang on. I'll sit out here a little bit. Damn easy, Doc. Okay. This is our right bleed is off, so we're going to keep that off when we start the left engine. The wing on lock. That's gets wings are up, and the hydraulics. A couple hydraulic indications, meaning that the FCS not properly working, but it's fine since we did have the left engine started. Reset that, and we're going to start the left engine. So left generator to the normal position, and left engine crank switch to crank. Same thing with this engine with a 50% RPM to put the throttle to idle. There we go. Check FCS so we can hit the reset FCS switch. Wait for that to reset. Okay, now I can start talking about stuff we need to do. That's a little different than what we did yesterday. Alrighty, hang on. Give me one quick second to reposition my Twitch chat here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so the right bleed, so we're going to select our bleeds to the normal position. Turn the APU bleed off, turn the APU off. Now we're pretty much set to go. We can select NDOVS to high, even though the HUD's not on. And the flaps to half. Now, we're going to talk about, before we start going, we're going to talk about what we're going to be doing here. Now, there are two targeting circles to the, what would that be? To the south of our position, just about, it's about 210, and I'm gonna teach you how to target with the FLIR, the radar, and Sectra, using those, and that will give us a base. And I know where they are, so no waypoints are needed for this, even though once we get the start getting targets on their stuff, our HSI will be populated with targets. So, quick tutorial through the tactical view on the DDI. So first thing we have is the store page, and you see I have nothing selected because we're not going to be using anything today. That's tomorrow. The reason is because of that is if I made this video with weapons too, it would be overloading all of the beginners with so much information. And I want to keep these videos separate because if I made one single video, it'd be a 2-hour video. And the weapons comes tomorrow if I can do the video. And there will be several videos on that because it's just so much to cover and there's so many different weapons. I'll probably do GPS, just bombs in general tomorrow, GPS guided, laser guided, etc. But this is why this, so there's nothing selected. The only thing I've selected is the FLIR. And now I'm suspecting you know how to do that with the ACM or the load stores manager with the airplane. If you do not, I will make a video separate if I get enough attention to do it. I will talk about the ACM, the MU, everything like that. I'll probably do one eventually. But the Tacpack does default have 412 rounds for the gun, so I do have gun ammo in the airplane even though I will not use it. Next up is the radar page, which I'll talk about more when we get in the air. It is actually in the off position, and once we start taxiing, we'll turn it to the standby position. But as you see the indication off, that is why. The HUD position, just a simple HUD. I can actually use this. I usually taxi with this because I can see my speed. I don't need to turn the normal HUD on, so I can get more visibility, and then we can prove that our NWS is high from this display. EW, which is early warning, and now this display is a little more advanced. This is mainly for countermeasures, SAM avoidance, air-to-air craft gun avoidance, etc. I will get more information once we get to those lessons, which is about 2 videos off from now. The only thing you really need to learn about, you have 60 flares and 60 chaff, and this will give you the information of your countermeasures. And self-protect, once again, it's more of a countermeasures thing. As you see by T to C, I can actually move it around on this display. More of a countermeasures thing. I will get more into that later. It's actually almost like another HSI, but I'll get that later. So, for this tutorial, all we really need to learn about is these 3 things, and there'll be another FLIR indication up here once I've actually started the FLIR, and I will talk about that once we get in the air. Alright, so that's the general DDI tutorial. Now we'll go through and make sure we have our normal stuff, as we talked about later. So we check our FCS on one page and the checklist in the other one. Alright, so we'll check our aircraft weight, 47,000 pounds. That's what I checked in the ACM before I got in the SIM, and that's what it is. Our stores are 2,320 pounds. That is all the racks or the pylons for the weapons, and the FLIR. That's all that weight. The fuel, we have 14,330 pounds, which is pretty much the maximum this airplane can carry with just internal fuel. CG is fine. We're within limits, and the fuel is fine. So coming over here to FCS, we can test. If you guys do not remember, I need to learn how to. So full stick back, 24-24. Full stick forward, 24-24. I got a bad stick. I'm going to get the X55 eventually. Rudder, full left, you're going to get 40 on one side and 0-4 on the other. If I can get it there. There we go. On the other side, 40-40. good. Left elevator, aileron, 1515, 1515, you're good. So the FCS control is set. Now, as I talked about earlier, I usually have the HUD open when I'm taxiing, so that's fine for now. One more thing we will put in here is the ILS can be off. IFE, we're going to turn all these modes off except for this mode. We're going to select that mode, 1200 for our squawk code. TACAN, we don't need it, and we're not going to need that at all. This tutorial, and autopilot we will not need whatsoever either. And we can also turn off, no we don't, okay, never mind. Okay, so our radios are fine, we're not going to be using ATC or anything. So the one thing we'll do before, radar can go to standby and our FLIR can go to standby. And if we go to the technical page now, you actually can see I have a FLIR indication, and this is test mode because we're in standby. So it is actually crossed out, so we will not see anything on the display until we get in the air. And I turn it on. So what I have on this page, yeah, HUD. Alrighty, so let's start taxiing. I'm also on the ejection seat since the canopy is closed and we are taxiing. This ejection seat I will talk about in the Advanced Navigation and Aircraft Systems tutorial. The reason I'm not talking about it now is I'm not planning on ejecting. And it's pretty self-explanatory, it's already used. I will talk about, in the Advanced Aircraft System, I'll talk about the correct procedure if you know you're going to have to eject and you have time. But in a case we would have to eject at this point, it's probably something bad. You get your airplane to a stall or something where you just hit Control-Shift-E or pull the handle and you're gone. We're going to take off over these runways over here since I don't want to taxi a long ways down that way. So I'm hoping to do a video every night. When school gets pretty drastic, I won't do one some nights, but all this YouTube video should be done in a couple of weeks. And after this, what I'm planning on doing is having a virtual squadron set up. So if anybody, any of you watching, want to join it, I'll set it up and we can just have fun and do missions on here every night or whenever we can. And we can do formation flying, we can do a lot of stuff, and I'll pretty much be a tutorial for the first couple of them. And after that we can do a bunch of stuff. But that's going to be a very rigorous VA where you would have to train on T-45 if you're going to do carrier arms and a bunch of other stuff. It would probably be about 8 weeks of training in a normal airplane, then about 6 weeks training in the bug if you have some experience with it. Until I can, that's the maximum too, until I can check you off and you can fly with me on Twitch. Taxiing, we're going to keep our speed under 48 knots. I like to taxi fast. I'm Southwest Virtual Airlines pilot, so you know I'm going to be taxiing fast. Now if you see me miss a procedure or something, please tell me. I'm trying to give you guys the best information I possibly can. I'm not trying to go all from the book where I'm pretty much just reading the manual to you, but I don't want to go to the point of extent where I'm just friggin' going for winging the entire tutorial. I want to make it kind of mixed for you so you get a general idea of what a normal operation would be for me or many other people on the VRS forums which I've talked to. This one, they're all going on YouTube if anybody's thinking about watching this later, or if nobody can meet the stream and they want to, send them the link. I'll put my YouTube name is the same as my Twitch name, so. The first tutorial I did yesterday, if you missed it, is already on there. Okay, it's time to get serious here. We're approaching the runway, so we can go ahead and select our trim. We can push it down and we'll get the advanced trim length. There we go. We'll also let our wings and put our VRS to low. We also turn our HUD on. Okay, we have flaps half. So controls have been checked, wings are checked, trim's set, flaps are good, hooks good, harnesses, warning lights are good, nose reload, and these seats is armed. So before takeoff checklist complete. And now we'll park on the runway to give you a general idea of what we're going to be doing here. So I'm going to take off directly off the base, and I'm going to go around the runway heading, or about the runway heading, for a couple miles so I can get the FLIR, the radar, and everything started up. And I will teach you how to use the DDIs in flight, what the modes are on the radar and everything. I'll probably get in like a what we call a roll autopilot mode, where I'll probably just be doing holding circles for a while, teaching you how to do that stuff. Then we'll go find targets with the radar first. Then we'll do FLIR. We would take a target with the radar and refine it with the FLIR, or the infrared laser pod. I'll teach you how to do that. Then I'll teach you how to transfer that over and use targeting things with the HUD and the heads mounted display, refining it with the FLIR and everything like that. It'll be one of the shorter videos in the series, but it's going to give you the foundation, so we don't have to spend a lot of time on it tomorrow, which I will still hint to it tomorrow, but so I can pretty much just say, do this, and you'll know what to do if you're landing the airplane. Off measure 45 knots. Let's see, here again. Full afterburner on this one because we want to get up and going. Any of you wondering, I will not be doing high performance takeoffs until we get to the advanced tutorials, just because it's going to make it easier on you guys. 145 knots, put the nose up. 15 degrees after we gain a little bit of speed. The reason I'm doing this is because most of you, it takes a long time to learn how to fly this airplane. Not from a system standpoint of just with the stick, it takes a while, so I do not want to overload you with stuff you have to do. Like when we go up here and start using the FLIR and radar and stuff, I'm not going to be doing any freaking high performance minimum radius turns to try to get back to the target. A slow, very long distance away turn will do. Now, if you're watching this video and you already want to go for it, then fly. I'm usually just doing that for a tutorial view, but when you're actually flying, you can do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. So at this point, we're going to turn on the altitude. We're going to put on bolt mode, and we're going to put on. I'm going to take the stick. Actually, no, I'm going to take right. I'm going to put us in a little bit of a turn here. That's good. So I'm going to turn on roll mode and voltmetric altitude hold. There we go. Now while that is doing its thing, we're going to turn on the radar to OPR, opportunity, and the FLIR is on. I'm not going to mess with the laser track designator or any of these because we're not going to be shooting any weapons today, and we do not need them. We're going a little fast. I'm going to minimize the throttle here. We don't want to burn all of our fuel. Now I'm going to go to my FPAS page to see what my best Mach is at this speed, at this altitude, which is 0.63. Go. Okay, so I do not have realistic radar setup, realistic startup to make this quick. So when I select this, I'll automatically have the radar out. But usually it takes about 10 minutes, and I usually have that selected. So I don't have it selected to make this easier and faster for you guys. So here's the radar. Now we'll explain the radar real quick here. So starting up here, these are your EXP, or if you find a target for say infrared. If you want to say, it's kind of hard to see okay, you know what? I'm screwing up here. We'll just talk about the radar map first. What you see here is you see a little line moving across. That is the radar actually scanning the ground, and this is the ground. You can see up to 40 miles out, and you can target up to 40 miles out on this thing, and you can see up to 80. So these little black marks is not a lake or anything. It's what is the mountains in front of me are actually blocking my view of that. So what's showing is the mountains are blocking and it can't see right there. Well, that's the tops of the mountains. If I was really high, those would go away. Now what I'm going to do here is teach you how to use these XP at 1. So when I select that, you'll see my TDC, which I can use with the arrow keys. And if you do not see that, Control left. If you have if you remember what I taught you yesterday, if this is the castle, this is the little diamond thing. If you have it on, for say, this display, and your radar is on the left DDI, just hit, to use the castle switch, just control left arrow. So if on this page, control left arrow, moves it to this screen. What I'll see here is the TDC controller pop up. Now if you don't have an EXP, you'll see this little 2 hash marks. I'll show you how to use this later, but for now we're good. So EXP1. So if I want to zoom in right there, what I hit is enter. And this will actually zoom in on that point radar. So we actually have something right here. Those are little runways, I think. So if you find it more interesting, we can go XPS 2, zoom in more. And this will scan that little zone. And since we're turning, it's very hard for this radar to see it. I'll actually put us on heading hold here, so we can get our general. Let's put heading hold 020. That's going to put us on a good heading. Okay. So let's start over again. So to get rid of the XPS, you just select it again, and it gives you the default radar view. And so we see pretty much nothing on the radar, except for this little thing right here. Now if we want to take a look at that and stop the radar from scanning, we can hit freeze. That freezes the radar. That means this view is going to be here until I hit unfreeze. So then we can look up here, zoom in, unfreeze it, and it will automatically scan that zone again. This is very good, so once you get a target you want to look at, you can just freeze it and look at that and target stuff on the map. Very good. I like it a lot. So we can freeze that, XPS 2, move us down to this little part right here. Enter on the keyboard, and you get that zone lit up here. So that's a runway. So we're going to freeze that. Now we can use our TDC controller here now. Since we do not have another XPS, we can zoom in one more time, but I'm not going to do that because it's kind of pointless right here. So this is the TDC controller I'm using with the arrow keys, like I just zoomed in, like I just used to zoom in. And what I can do is hit enter. And that I can actually use now this to move around. Now this is pretty much where I put this point, hit enter, is going to be a target. Now it says it on the screen, it's like this little like block, yellow block thing on the screen, and I already have the target on my HUD. Now I can actually turn CPL target with the autopilot, and I'll turn toward the target. And the target I would believe would be this runway right here. I could be wrong. So let's actually disable the autopilot and take a look, see what it is. Yep, looks like it's it. If you see on the radar, you see the little, I'm actually zooming the radar in and out to where it is, and there it is. There's the target. Actually, no, it's lower. Oh, there it is. I don't know why it's over there. Huh. Oh, see, it's a little left to the runway. So yes, we pretty much selected it. I must have hit something or moved it or something. But you get the basics of how to find stuff on the radar. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back up, and we're actually going to refine that with a FLIR. Before we do that, though, let's get my heading hold. Actually, no, let's get my altimetric altitude hold and my heading of 280. So I will talk you through the rest of the map. Now, the rest of the things on the map mode, we are in map mode right now, which scans the ground, and this little white objects are sim objects in the FSX world, which is runways, buildings, tanks, anything that, like an airplane on the ground, anything that's in the sim objects folder in FSX. GMT is ground moving target mode, and anything that's moving, like if you go in the FS recorder and set it, or if you go next to an airport with traffic and the airplanes are moving, that it will pop up on this radar, and it will be moving. And you can, if there's a ground moving target, which I'll demonstrate more in the advanced weapon tutorial where we actually target ground moving targets, I can put my TDC over a little, they'll look like little white rectangles, and I can put it over there, hit enter, and automatically walk onto that target. So C mode is any ships, moving ships or non-moving ships, pretty explanatory. anything in the sea pretty much you want to shoot. TA mode is terrain avoidance, which will actually show the terrain if you got to a low enough altitude. It'll map it out. That'll be in the advanced avionics, tactical avionics / navigation / aircraft systems tutorial, where we actually use that. That's not really useful for us right now, though. Then we can also use air mode, and this switches us to the air radar. And it's pretty much that easy. You just hit a button and it automatically goes to the air mode. This I will talk about more. I really don't want to talk about it. I just want to kind of stick. I'll talk about the generics of it, but I really want to stick to the air-to-ground mode until we get to. I'm going to do a whole separate video on air-to-air since it's not a really big topic, but it's better if I cover in one video. But it's pretty simple. Just do range. You can switch to TWS mode. All of that stuff is there, but I will cover that in another video. I know you probably were wanting to use it, but in the air-to-air video, which is going to be part of the weapons tutorials, I will talk about that more thoroughly. So we'll go back to the surface radar. So that's what that is. We can change the how fast it goes. We can change how many degrees it wants us to scan. So we can say 90 degrees, it'll scan 90 degrees off the nose. It's like a cone of 90 degrees, pretty much. We'll show data, which is our how thick it is, how what stuff is. The darkest would be like sim objects, like buildings and stuff, and the lightest would be like you can't see it. Frozen would be SIL, and frozen would be freezes the radar, and it's more like SIL in the advanced avionics tutorial. And reset would reset the map. And this is your range. You can go all the way down to 5 miles and all the way up to 80. I'm going to keep it, usually the default is 40 or 20, I keep it at, if I'm looking for stuff. Alright, so that is the radar, and now we're going to go to something a little more advanced, which is the FLIR. Now what you see is here is now, this is a good point, because I forgot to deselect the target I last had on the radar. So it says mask, and what mask means is the FLIR cannot see the target, because I'm going away from it. Make sure, okay, yeah, let's move. Going away from the target and it cannot see it. Once I flip back around here, watch that FLIR in the left DDI. You'll actually see it. I got ATC failure because I forgot to disable the auto throttle when I'm turning. No big deal. See around, and it'll actually pop up on the target on the FLIR because it can see it. Once I actually level out my wings, there it goes. You sail for a little bit. There it is. So now the airplane can see that target. The airplane's not blocking it, and it's within the extent of how many degrees the moving part of the FLIR can see. So we can, this is a simple display. We're going to turn to the target here. There we go. Okay. So what you see here is we have WFOV. I'll start in this corner. I can zoom in. That's pretty much your narrow view, wide FOV, medium FOV, and narrow FOV. This will change your contrast and how much you see in your how much stuff heat comes up. This is your gamma. It's pretty much the same thing. This is pretty much for nighttime use and seeing a hot target per se. So that's your 10. It'll just broaden the display up. I usually keep it at 5 or 6. This is your zooms. I can zoom in more narrowly, except not changing the FOV. I can focus it a little more. That's all that good stuff. Make sure we're not like crashing into the ground here. There we go. Okay. Over here we can have TV view or land view. It's just you keep it on TV for now. This is pretty much the same thing I was on the radar. Show you the different stuff. And this is pretty much what the stage grades as DDIs can very much. This is a very useful feature at night. This displays the target's latitude, longitude, position, and the elevation of it. This will give you a little more view. That's all. You can all adjust that once you're looking at targets and stuff like that. But so now we're going to see. So now we're going to say you already have a target selected, like this one I just selected, and you want to change it. So my TDC, my cancel switch is actually on the FLIR. So if I move my TDC, which is the arrow keys, I can actually see this little crosshairs. Now if I can move that to anywhere on the FLIR I want to, automatically reset the target on the airplane and the FLIR to that. So for say if I wanted this little like gas station type deal here, and boom, good. I can type in the zoom a little bit. 1.9, I can focus that a little more, and there you go. There's your target. Pretty simple. I can also hit Shift Delete, unselect it, and then unselect it totally. There we go. So what you see here now is I hit Shift Delete a couple times, and now I can move the FLIR, because there's no target selected on the airplane. I can move the FLIR all the way around. So if I want to target that tree, all I do is hit it, focus on the tree, refine it, boom, I'm ready to shoot a Maverick. And if I had the laser target designator on, I just need to hit enter one more time at a laser target, I can shoot the Maverick and automatically hit that target. It's that easy to use, very simple, very fun. It's one of my favorite ways to designate targets in the world. Alright, what else do we have here? Alright, yes, the final way to target targets would be without the FLIR, but with the HUD. The thing with the HUD is if I up, you'll see AGR in the HUD. It means I've controlled the HUD, and you'll see the little white dot in between the vector. And I can hit enter, or I can just use my T2C controller, and I can actually move that around the HUD. And for say, if I want to see that tree right there, hit enter, that's my target. It's that easy, it's that simple. Then I can also go to the FLIR or the radar and refine that. So I usually use the FLIR in this case scenario, control left arrow or the cancel left switch, and I can move that around and say if I wanted that bunch of trees, boom, I can hit laser, boom, done. I usually only use the HUD for general area targets, like I kind of need target in that area. So like there's a bunch of buildings, I want to target one building, I can just put the FLIR's target thing right there, hit it, and will designate that wherever I hit it, and I could just use the FLIR to refine that and select the building I want to destroy. Very simple. You'll find the HUD, you usually don't see any use of it now since you have the radar and the FLIR, but once you get going with targets and stuff, you'll see a lot of good uses for it. Now there's another way to target by the HUD, believe it or not. Now the other way to do that would be here, let's get my settings set up here, would be with the heads-up mounted display. Control Shift H brings it up, and if I move my little for say crosshairs off the HUD, it automatically pops up. Glitch up, or control up arrow, and I can have T2C control the HUD. So all I have to do is say I want to target that road over there. I need track AR. Then hit enter, and I'll automatically put that where those crosshairs. This is a little better inside the HUD because I can quickly look at a target, hit enter, and target that. And the same thing applies. I can left, and it automatically puts it in the radar and in the FLIR. As you see that little, in the right DDI, you see the little yellow rectangle that's already on the radar. I could even go for say XP3 and zoom all the way in on that target automatically. Don't need any human intervention whatsoever. So here we go. We can use the FLIR to target that a little better, whatever you want to do. It's that easy. That's simple. Now I really don't have any. Actually, let's go into let's go in a little bit of advanced avionics. Before we do that, we're going to clear the target out of this. So cancel switch FLIR, or whichever source you originally designated target with, or you just designated or refined it with. The last thing you hit enter on to designate a target. This will be the FLIR. Hit Shift Delete, and you will be cleared of all the targets. And the way I can prove that is my CPL target has disappeared. That means I have no targets that the airplane is looking at. Enter is designate, Shift Delete is undesignate. So we have bingo field now, which I'm actually going to move that to, it's still unless the issue is flag. I'm going to move it to 4.0. Because there's one last thing I need to show you. So let's go into headings. Let's go to match cold and that heading select. Okay. Now we're going to go on a little bit of advanced avionics tour here, just to get me a waypoint here. So if we go to HSI, we can go to GPS, wherever it is, data I mean, GPS, and you can find KNFL, which is the code for the airport we took off, which is Fallon Naval Reserve Base, and that's already in there because it's a GPS. It's like it just comes off the data out of FSX for the GPS. You're going to XFIR, or pretty much point it as, now it's waypoint 1. That's a little bit of an advanced avionics tutorial for you. So we can designate that waypoint as I showed you yesterday how to do. Then there's one last option up here, which is TGT. Select that, and now it's my target. I've already said the airplane, this is my target, and the target indication comes up on the HUD. It's aware that is. So I can hit CPO waypoint, and that is target actually, and it will take me to it. And same thing applies here. I can use the radar to refine that. Once it pumps up on my radar, it'll automatically show up as a little waypoint sign, and I'll show you it here in a second once I roll the airplane to the right to get it back on up. A little low here. So you see a little, okay. So you see a little yellow break on my radar with a little, kind of like a circle with an arrow, and that is the waypoint sign. As you see here, that's my waypoint sign, and the same thing applies with anything else. Like an XP3 all the way, you use maximum zoom. I'll use XP1. And now there it is, it's scanning, and it'll scan that little block, and it's not going to do it right now because I'm too close to the target. I can go to FLIR and automatically select, so if you target something or use a waypoint to target or anything, if you have a target set in the airplane, all the tactical instruments in the airplane will focus on that target. Everything is set to that. And now you may assume, okay, whatever, I don't care about the other ones, but later when you get used to this, you can use this for a lot of different functions, a lot of different weapons. So you can show up a JDAM with the radar, then switch over to a Maverick when you get closer to the target and shoot it with the using a laser from the laser target designator on the FLIR. Very cool. So same thing applies here. I can move it around if I have my Castle switch set on the FLIR display. Select that. Now it reset the autopilot to say this is my target now. Easy as that. Shift delete to get rid of it. There you go. I have no target now. That easy. That cool. It actually undesignated it on my waypoint, my HSI too. So what else? Oh yes. So this is a simple, basic countermeasures thing. Since now you guys are probably wondering and looking at targets now. I will teach you how to get out of a very simple SAM or air-to-aircraft scenario. So the correct way to turn all your dispensers and countermeasures on is jammer on, your dispenser on, and your RWR and CMWS on. You see my radar warning receiver down here turn orange, turn on for say. Look at my early warning display and it's on. Alright, I will talk about more of this tomorrow, but the one thing you need to learn, if you see a box here, this is 1 in its box, and you see a SAM or AA warning or an AI warning, that pretty much means something is targeting you, something's going to shoot at you. See CWS, get out of there. If you see missile, you're pretty much screwed. Now, I will talk about this 2 videos from now, how to avoid SAMs. The SAMs, VRS model is SA6 SAMs, so they're extremely easy to avoid actually. You can avoid at 25,000 feet, pretty much. Sorry about that. Talk about that more next day. Just want to learn how to teach you how to turn it on. Laser target designator. Talk about that tomorrow when I get to the Maverick. I'll show you Maverick, a GPS/radar guided bomb, which is pretty much a JDAM. Target how to shoot a Maverick, a JDAM, and a laser target and a laser guided bomb. Now I don't know if I'm going to do a laser guided bomb, because the Maverick's pretty much the same method how to shoot it, but I probably will. I'll probably teach you how to use some of the different bomb modes, CCIP, auto mode, etc. Tomorrow. So that's pretty much the tactical tutorial. If anybody got anything they want to see, type it in the description. I'm going to start turning back for land here. Anything you guys want to see tactically on the airplane, except for weapons. Shoot, if anything I did not clarify enough, shoot it in the chat, and I will either get back to you on YouTube and teach you how to do it, make a new video, or else if you're watching the stream, I'll just tell you right now. And all the streams will be usually 8 to 9 at night. Usually because I have crew, so 8 to 9 at night, 8 at the earliest, 9:30 at the latest. If I was at 9:30, I would not start it. And all these videos are going on my YouTube at Selfless7373 Edgard, same as my Twitch channel. I'm hoping to get a lot of videos. If you go on the YouTube video, if you go to my YouTube channel and go to one of these videos, I'll have a full description of what videos are going to be next in there, and you guys can see what videos I'm doing next. The next video, we get to finally talk about weapons tomorrow, which will be fun. If I could get to it, we can. And I'm going to get some photo reel for Fallon tonight, and we're going to be doing some nice target practice with actual weapon test post. So then after that, it's going to be SAM avoidance. Not SAM neutralizing yet. We're not going to be using harms yet, because at this point, when you're just beginning to learn how to fly the airplane, I don't want you to try to get close and try to take out a SAM site. I just want you to get away from it. So we'll teach you how to avoid them. Then the advanced tutorial of the SAM avoidance will actually teach you how to use harms and neutralize it. I may go into very few details about the harm tomorrow, like just how to shoot one off real quick if you're in a nasty situation. But we'll learn about that another day. Coming to land here, I will not be using the pattern since that it comes later. Actually, it comes a video, I think, after the SAM avoidance video, where we'll teach you not landing on a carrier, but landing on a carrier field, which is carrier practice. Like you'll see here, there's carrier markings on the runway, and that's a better way to get familiar with the pattern and everything for an aircraft carrier. Then, since every video in the basic series has an advanced equivalent, we'll talk about that the advanced version of that will be actually landing on the aircraft carrier. Alright, so we're coming in way too fast. We may have to go around here. If you guys remember anything from yesterday, I might pause it again and show you again. Maybe not, I don't know. So we're going to put a feel. I know we're below 44,000 pounds. We're turning the radar off, the FLIR off. Yeah, I'm going to go around because we're in no method to land here unless I turn all these off real quick. Alright, so all your dispensers off, your radars off, everything's off. There we go, gears down, flaps down. I'm not going to land like I normally do. I'm going to land like halfway down the runway. Actually, you know what? Well, this is better. I'll just show you a go-around scenario. Let's apply some military power, turn left. It should be the normal pattern for an aircraft carrier or field. What we're going to do is take a 45-degree turn. Not 45-degree turn yet. There we go. At about 250 knots. And we're going to do this all the way around the airfield to get back lined up with the runway. We're parallel with the runway, consider a little more, because I cut it short here, a little more than a 45-degree turn to get back on the center line. A little bit of pattern work per se. I'm going to put my HUD on, and on this screen I'm going to put my checklist on so I can check stuff real quick. Alright, now our hook bypass is in a field mode. We're way too fast. See, we're well below 44,000 pounds of fuel. Just aircraft weight. So we're coming around 250 knots. It's going to be gearing flaps. Put the flaps on a little early. And guys, if you're on Facebook, the FSX Facebook page, great place to go if you want any information, because I'm on there regularly talking about this thing. There's a lot of interesting people who want to learn it, so I'm usually on there on the FSX Facebook, just FSX on the type it in on Facebook, and you'll get a page with the wanted members, and that's where I'm usually on. I'll post all the when I'm about to go live and stuff on there. Alright, time to concentrate here. I'm fast. I'm 130. 130 is about my speed now, since I'm pretty light. I want to be at. Okay, nose up. No, I did what I did yesterday. I put the throttles all the way forward. Welcome to Fallon again. And of course, I forgot to disable differential braking. So, yeah. If you were here yesterday, you know my fit with that. This airplane. And of course, AccuFuel from A2A is making my airplane sound like I'm freaking like in a C7, like a C47, not a C47, I guess. It's like a Piper Cub almost. My wheels sound like. Okay, after laying checklist, we are going to actually reset the trim. So by pushing the trim button. Landing line off if you had it on. I did not. Bad me, whatever. For us, we're going to put our wings in fold. You can put them in hold if you're not, but I usually just put them in fold. Since we need, if you don't remember, we need them either in hold or fold mode to get the AWS to high. Idle the engines as much as we possibly can to get the temperature down before we shut them down. And that landing was okay. The one I had yesterday was much better, but I was way low and fast, as you saw. It was a weird scenario where I was actually low and fast. I got the red triangle almost all the way in, which is bad. I should have gone around, but I already gone around once, so I didn't want to deal with it. Not showing you very good habits, I guess. Tomorrow will be fun though, because we actually get to blow stuff up. World's worst parking, but it got the job done. So I need to get normal braking. So seats unarmed. You'll have bleeders to off, engine shutdown. There we go. Left and right generator off. Now we start after start checklist. And remember, you want to keep the engine setting for 5 minutes if you just landed. I taxied for a little bit, so I didn't. Bad me, but you know what? I'm not sitting here for 5 minutes. Alrighty, so dispensers have been off. Turn them off. We're going to turn the HUD off. And guys, don't be afraid. If you like something a certain way when you jump into the cockpit, to be a certain way, to be a certain brightness or whatever, feel free to set that. Just keep it in its setting. Like in the HUD mode, if you want the HUD on when you start, no big deal. Keep it at a certain brightness you like, it'll start up. Keep the hue at a certain brightness you like. This airplane's a very user customized, I guess you would say. It's always on by VRS default. But just customize it how the airplane will load exactly how you left it, usually. Unless you had some weird scenario where you're like starting in the air or something. It's like the A2A, where you start it, it's exactly how you left off. So all your settings are customizable pretty much. Put the ladder down. Put the canopy and our normal view for ending. Yay, for me. It's a long video. Okay, so thanks guys for watching. Tomorrow will be weapons. Finally, yeah, we get to blow shit up, I guess. A couple videos on weapons. I don't know if I'm gonna just do them all tomorrow and just stream like 1 or 2 and do the other 2 like at night or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But So yeah, guys, VFA information. If you want to join VFA 190 and start getting training and doing stuff like that, just shoot me a PM on either. Well, actually, I put my email address, and if you want to join, just send me your information in there. And the next time you see me, hopefully, I'll be flying the VFA 190 livery. I'm flying the Tomcatter's livery right now. But yeah, if you join, you get your. If you pass the training for the C-45, and you get your name right on the side of a jet, and you get an official position, and you get to come fly with me. I think it's a little too early to be talking about that, since I'm still doing this tutorial, so I'm going to be clogged up for crap. So next, I will start accepting applications, but you'll be pretty much put on a hold, where you can come in the team speak, and we'll do all that, we'll set all that up. It's just, I'm not going to make it like official for say. This website's not up yet. I will get that up. Facebook page will come on pretty shortly here. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Once again, shoot me a comment on YouTube. Comment right now on Twitch. I will stop recording it so the YouTube video will have to listen to this, but I will be on for about 5 more minutes if anybody had any questions or whatsoever. So thanks guys for watching. I'll see you later.